Welcome back everybody to Hack Me Hard, continuing with my playthrough of SMW Returns, which is obviously a Super Mario World ROM hack. So, there is some explaining to do, I suppose, because, yeah, this is a brand new part. This is not longer a re-upload. As some of you probably realized by reading the description, or maybe those who were subscribed or followed somehow the Random Channel 2. This was a project that I started on that channel around a month and a half ago. And, well, basically because of time restrictions and, of course, extra work, more classes, more English lessons to be given, more students, the amount of time, the amount of free time that I've had, or that I've been having for the last year or so, it has been dramatically reduced by a lot, which means, or which meant, that I needed to make sacrifices in terms of the amount of projects that I was doing on YouTube. And I realized that maybe what I was taking up a lot of my time, or most of my free time recording, was the secondary channels. So that is why I decided to stop entirely this large exclamation point block enable you to jump high if you hold the jump button. Oh yeah, that's a thing that I've seen so many times in the Anikitty hacks. I'm sure Anikitty and this person who made this hack used pretty much the same resources as I've been kind of suggesting or commenting in previous parts to this. So yeah, basically because of me having less free time, or a lot less free time, I decided to move some of the projects that I did on the secondary channels on the main ones, onto the main ones. This one being one of them. As you know, I uploaded initially 9 parts out of this game on the Random Channel 2, and well, I re-uploaded them during the course of this last 2 weeks. This is part number 10. This is the first new part for this playthrough after these re-uploads. So that's why I'm explaining all of this to you again, even though I'm sure you guys have been reading the description. Also have been, you heard my explanation when I did the Yoshi's New Island part on Channel 4 about this topic. Okay, so with these 2 or 3 levels coming up, I should be unlocking the path to the forest. Remember, I need to hit the remaining switch to open up the last part of the game. So, yeah. As I mentioned in that Yoshi's New Island video, and I guess I'm gonna be repeating this every time I basically add a new part to these re-uploads, I decided to make sacrifices. In that regard, I think the easiest way to go when it comes to, like, you know, eliminating forever certain shows, certain features, I decided to go for the secondary ones. Remember that this year I kind of started to redo some of the older shows that I was doing back in the day, like Arcades at Home, or Gaming in the 80s, Gaming in the 90s. Well, those I basically decided to cancel those forever. Or at least, if I am gonna be doing those, probably would be as part of another show like the Roulette of Sadness or the Randomizer, which is actually a better idea in my humble opinion. But as a standalone shows, as I was trying to, you know, use them all, or do them all at the same time, I decided not to do that anymore and sacrifice them for the sake of time. And in regards to, for example, shows like the mini roulette and the randomizer, I actually am gonna move them from the random channels to the main ones. The mini roulette will go on channel 1, and the randomizer, the one that I started last year, or renovated to, you know, last year, because I was doing the randomizer from a few years back using that roulette system though. But this new randomizer, or the one that I started last year, had the randomizer text format, and I did around 5 games for it. Well, that one I am moving it here on this channel to Chilean Retro Gamer III. Okay, the Sea of Soda with some DKC1 background from the water levels. So yeah, there are things that I needed to sacrifice, but there are other things that I didn't want to sacrifice. For example, the mini roulette and the randomizer, since I enjoy doing like random rolls to select the games that I want to play next. Basically that was one of the motivations for me to start doing the random channels 1 and 2. Well, of course, the Chilean Nintendo Gamer channel, as well as the No Nintendo Allowed channel, as well as the projects that I was thinking or planning for those channels, of course, will be removed. That's the other sacrifice I ended up making. So not only the secondary shows with, you know, based on the older features, but also a couple of the newer ones also got sacrificed again for something better, basically. So just to let you know, I mean, just to make it clear, I'm just gonna be using the 4 main channels plus Naked Gaming as the sources for my videos. So I ended up basically sacrificing 4 out of the 9 channels that I had. So I'll be using Chilean Retro Gamer 1, 2, 3, and 4. And of course I moved a couple of the projects on different channels in order to basically provide variety. But again, as I mentioned, some of the secondary shows, for example, well, Arcades at Home, Gaming in the 80s, you know, all these classics, including Chilean Nintendo Gamer or No Nintendo Allowed, probably will be featured as part of another bigger show like the Randomizer or the Roulette of Sadness. Oh, I remember this. Actually, I remember this level being in an Natty Kitty hack. Dude. I don't know, but I've seen this level before in another hack different from this. And I don't know which one, to be honest, but I'm kind of positive it's one of the Anikitty hacks. Or maybe Super Demo World, but you know, I've seen it in another of the well-known classic hacks. So that's why I'm kind of curious about this creator. I don't know if it is actually Anikitty or someone who worked with Anikitty. I don't know, it's hard to really remember exactly where I have seen this level. But yeah, I remember playing it many times. But not on this hack. This hack I barely played it a couple of times. This is like the second or the third time I ever played this hack alone. So I'm still kind of curious about basically the real author, the real owner of this particular level. In this part, I practically haven't talked about the game. Again, there is some explaining to do still. I mean, you got that message clear, I guess. No more secondary channels, no more secondary projects. I'm just gonna be using the channels for the main projects and a couple of the secondary ones that I wanted to keep, like the randomizer and the mini roulettes. But again, as I was mentioning, some of these smaller features, the ones that I've been talking to you about, including the classic ones or Chilean Nintendo Gamer and all that, maybe they will be part of a bigger feature, as I mentioned before, like the Red of Sadness. For example, like I did in the Naked Gaming version of the Red of Sadness, I was basically featuring all of my shows, or at least the most important ones, as part of a wheel. So all of them are gonna be featured in one way or another, most likely as part of a bigger feature, a bigger show. Oh yeah, even if you get the points here, do they add? Yes, they do. Okay, why did I had literally 0 points. Maybe I never cared about the thing. Alright guys, there's gonna be actually more levels before I actually am allowed to get into the forest. So I guess I'm gonna call it an episode, and I wanna thank you for watching. And remember guys that from now on, the rest of this project will be here on Chilean.gamer the 3rd, no longer available on the random channel 2. So yeah, I'll see you next time.